Hello, hello. Welcome to Simulacra Studios presents Vampire the Masquerade Burn It Down. I am your storyteller for the evening, Scott, and these are my players. Yeah, you're here. It's you.
Hi.
This is that
Roman?
thing we talked about where you introduce yourselves.
Yes.
It starts
Hi.
it starts with you, Roman.
It starts with me. Hi. My name's Austin, and tonight I'm going to be playing Roman Semenov, a Hecata gangster and Baron wannabe.
All right.
Ooh, that's a pretty good title. Hi, it's me, Mo. I'm gonna be playing Willow Walsh tonight, and the hole she's in she just keeps digging. It's so deep. How far does it go?
It's a good question.
Hi, I'm James Davey. I am playing DJ Second Sight, aka Alex Mars, the group's moral center and borderline psychotic BFF.
Yeah.
And I'm McKenna. I play Cadence, Manic Pixie Trash Gangrel. And I don't know if she's going to kick some teeth in tonight, but she always wants to kick teeth in, so maybe. Maybe.
Fantastic. And we will be joined after our break by a special guest who will be revealed at a dramatically appropriate time.
Son of a bitch.
That's never good for us. That has never gone well for us.
These things on us, Scott.
Oh, because I love you. Anyway, we're going to start the evening with Alex.
OBS's fault at all, was
Yeah,
it?
no, of course. No. It's fine. There's a reason we have a break. So I can redo all that bullshit. Anyway, Alex, the previous night before you went to bed in your communal haven was a pretty stressful one. And you are feeling that stress even throughout the day. And even as you come into more conscious activity, you are not finding yourself rousing from the day sleep. You find that for hours, seemingly hours, you are wandering a dark and strange hedge maze that seems to just loop in on itself eternally. You find no exit, you find no rhyme, no reason to the twisting passages of this dark, plant-lined maze that you're in. Eventually, though, it seems to map your own state of consciousness with how legible and how navigable you find this hedge maze. Until eventually you come to a point where you're more or less lucid within this dream. And you turn a corner, and you find yourself confronted with three paths that look decidedly different from the undifferentiated plant mass that you've been just twisting around in. The first path leads you down what looks like a hall of many twisted and broken mirrors. The second path leads you down a path filled with religious iconography. But by the sort of the feeling of contemplativeness and sanctity that this is of a religious bent, but you don't recognize any one specific religious icon.
Okay.
The third path leads down. And it leads down, and you see it's more familiar for the rest of the maze because it is filled with plants, but you see sort of gleaming in the darkness with sort of bioluminescence is the best way you can put it. Strange flowers and strange growths that you don't recognize from the waking world. And you feel like, in that way that you know things in dreams, that you can only go down one of these paths, but down each is a great revelation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to sort of look down the path of mirrors, and I'm immediately going to recognize this for what it is, and I'm going to understand in my heart that this is Malkov trying to call me back to his side, and I will not go to his side.
Okay.
I'm going to look down the path of religious revelation, and I'm going to really consider that one for a moment. Because before in the Sabbat, I was a priest, and I fashioned myself as the spiritual guide to these ne'er-do-wells. But I think my curiosity is going to get the better of me if I've never seen these plants before. I know the path of religious revelation is probably the correct way to go, but I'm going down into the dark with those flowers I've never seen before.
Okay. You start treading down the path, and it actually starts to curve downward in a spiral.
Cool. My character does not have World of Darkness lore, so I have no idea what that might
Oh,
mean.
no, you absolutely don't.
Oh, no.
But it continues, actually, to become more lush and vibrant as these strange flowers just start to bloom all around you. And then you sort of pass through a layer that is still sort of plant-like. And then you break through to the other side, to the underside of this maze. And you quickly realize that the maze itself is a tree. Because you begin spiraling down the trunk on this sort of very narrow, very rough-hewn spiral path that goes down into a large expanse of dark undergrowth.
Okay.
As you look around, as you're sort of gaining your bearings, you can see that the tree above, that the labyrinth that you've been running meaninglessly through, is covered in spider webs. And every now and then you see a gigantic dark figure, sort of half man, half spider, skitter across it, adjusting a web, reaching a hand into the labyrinth to do some manipulation of the pathways or the people they're in. Eventually you come down to the bottom and you're amongst the undergrowth. And there's a very natural path that leads you away from the base of the tree. And presuming that you continue on that path, first thing you see, the first thing that you come across, is you see one of these beings, one of these spider hybrid things, on the ground, very clearly dead. And you see Ileana, your fellow ex-Sabbat gangmate, with this wicked-looking hacksaw, just carving pieces off of this creature and putting them in a wheelbarrow. And blood is streaming out of her eyes as she does so. But she takes a moment to recognize you and points you in a direction.
I follow her direction.
Okay. You come back around, and this new path that she's put you on is taking you back to the base of the tree. And when you come around the other side from where you left, the scene that is before you is you see a very primitive looking ironwork forge. Like, this is something that would be used in the Stone Age to very, crudely create iron weapons. Well, not the Stone Age, the Iron Age, obviously.
Early Iron Age.
Early Iron Age, yeah, absolutely. At the forge are two figures. The first you recognize as Cadence. And she is making her way through the process of forging and assembling a very crude but very brutal looking axe. Standing behind her is a dark-clad woman whose features are mostly obscured, but she is very quietly, subtly instructing Cadence on how to craft this axe. And when she finishes, when she finally binds the iron axe head to the wooden shaft of the axe, she sort of pushes Cadence towards the root of the tree, towards the trunk of the tree, and then she calls over someone else. She calls over Willow to start crafting yet another axe, and then you see yourself waiting next, and then Roman, and then Alex, and then figures in shadow that you cannot identify. Sorry, Madison was the last person that you recognized. Right. Sorry.
Oh, Madison, yeah.
What is Alex's interpretation of this vision?
Well, I've learned enough from what I've read about Lilith to interpret that the woman in the dark garden that is mad at the world above is Lilith, and that she is crafting us as her tools in this reality to bring something down. I'm not sure what I interpret. I think he's not 100% sure what the labyrinth and the world above is supposed to represent.
If you'd like to roll intelligence occult.
I have those things. Well, I have one of those things. Let me... I have a lot of one of those things, in fact. All right. I got one success.
The first answer that comes to mind is the Sabbat indoctrination one, which is the antediluvians and their machinations.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking, and I was thinking that the spiders are themselves antediluvians or their agents, which I'm all game about destroying that and bringing that down. So I think that Alex's initial thought is going to be that this is confirmation that he is on the right track, that the Sabbat is correct, and that the antediluvians and their machinations have to be ended, but they're wrong in so far as how they are going about it. And again, because he does not know of the Bahari heresy, he is going to kind of be like, all right, I get what's going on here. And if we're being used as tools in this war, so be it. I think that this is what has to happen next.
Okay. You come out of your vision, of your time. The first thing I need you to do is roll a rouse check for hunger.
I did not succeed in that.
Okay, so you get a little hungrier.
Rock on.
The next thing that sort of comes out is you think of one of the people with whom you shared the Vauldery with. So what I'd like to know is who do you think of, and what is the thought?
I had the highest funiculum rating with Willow.
Same.
I think, though, that my first thought... Did I see Roman?
Yes, Roman was amongst them, yeah.
So I think my first thought is going to be Roman was standing there with us. And, you know what, my funiculum rating with him is relatively low, but I think that is a really good sign that I saw him in the vision there with us, preparing to take down this tree.
Okay. the next set of thoughts is this: that it starts to compete with the vision that it is still sort of in your high fever brain. Is the events of the past evening. You were party to a lot of death and destruction, and you did kill someone.
I did.
You brought them back, which may or may not be worse, but I would say there would be definitely a stain on Alex's humanity.
Right on.
So we are going to have to resolve that right now.
Okay.
So the way that works, they all had to do it last time too. So it's your turn on the merry-go-round.
Right on.
Is you take your current humanity, and you take that goes from right to left. No, so I'm sorry. Yeah, right to left.
Yeah, I have 7.
And so then you take your stains, which is basically go from right to left. So yeah, humanity goes from left to right. Stains go from right to left.
Okay.
You take the difference between those, and you roll those number of dice, and you need to roll at least one success to hang on to your current humanity. So if you have humanity 7, you have 1 stain, you need to roll 2 dice.
2 dice. And I gotta have at least 1 success.
At least 1 success to avoid losing that bit of humanity.
I got 2 successes.
Okay, so what that means is that you
Feel horrible.
Feel horrible. You cannot justify what you've done. You know that you've done a wrong thing, and that you're going to have to grapple with that. And as that weight comes down you realize, along with that hunger that starts to nip back at you, that it's quite late in the evening. Okay. You don't hear any noises in the communal haven. You don't hear, you don't feel any signs of movement or anything like that. Your senses will tell you that you are alone here, and that it is quite late in the night.
So I'll just send a text message to Willow.
Okay.
Hey, what's up?
All right. So next we're going to go to Roman. Mm-hmm. Roman, when last we left you were leaving Willow's house because you had some people you wanted to contact.
Yes.
Who were those people?
So the first, it's two situations that are pretty independently. They're not terribly related to one another.
Mm-hmm.
I think it sort of between all of the weird shit that was going on in the garden, or out in Willow's backyard, and just sort of going over the events of the evening in my head, I think it kind of dawned on him at that moment that the prince made it pretty clear that she knew who my family was.
Uh-huh.
And he would definitely really like to make sure that they're a little better hidden than that.
Okay.
And so I was thinking about possibly getting in touch with my grandson would be a bit more likely.
Okay.
In terms of, first off, just seeing how he's doing, if maybe asking if maybe he's seen, felt like he's being followed or anything like that, just a check it.
Okay. How are you getting in touch with him?
I have his cell phone number.
Okay.
And he doesn't know it, but I make sure it's paid.
Okay.
He probably thinks that there's some kind of glitch involved and that they're just not sending him the bill or something.
And you're just gonna let it ride,
And he's letting it ride. But yeah, I'm gonna get in touch with him and see how he's doing.
Okay. So do you call him? Do you send him a text? How does that happen?
Yeah, I'll probably send him a text. It's a little late, but I expect he's probably up somewhere. Not
all right.
up to no good.
Okay, you send that text, and I would like you to roll me an intelligence politics, please.
You bet. Okay, not bad. And let me see where my hunger is at. Okay. Not too bad. Two successes.
2 successes. Yeah, you send off that text, and as you're doing so, you're sort of thinking back through that meeting with the prince, and you can't. It's not that you rule out that she was threatening your like family, but you think that it's also possible that she was talking about the Hecata.
Yeah, and that was the second. That was the other unrelated thing that I wanted to get in touch with.
Okay.
Or at least make more of an effort than I have been, because now that I understand the situation at least a little bit better, I'm interested to see where they fit in all of this.
Okay.
And if they can be trusted.
All
my
right.
instinct is always no, but at the same time, if they wanted to torch my haven, they had a chance.
Indeed.
And so, yeah, I do want to reach out, possibly to the one of the two that had met with me earlier. I don't remember if we had exchanged contact information or anything like that.
We can say that a business card was proffered.
Sure. And so yeah, I'll use that and reach out to them as well.
Okay. When you if you try and text that number, it comes back as this number is not provisioned for texting.
Sure.
So you would actually have to call. And when you do, it picks up a very professional sounding young man who lets you know that this is an answering service, and that if you'd like to give a message to Mr. G, you may do so through him.
Yeah, I just say, all right, just let him know that Roman's trying to get in touch, and he knows where to find me.
Okay. Yeah, you send that message off, and about that time is when you get a response back from your grandson, and he just says, "Everything seems quiet here. What's going on?"
He Roman will text back, nothing. Don't worry too much about it. But let me know if. Just stay in touch. If you start, I don't know, if you start feeling maybe like you're being watched or anything like that. I don't think that anything's I don't think that anything's going to happen, but in the event that something does happen, just keep in touch, and yeah, I'll leave it at that. I've got to go through a different channel as far as getting in touch with his sister, because he doesn't know that I know her.
That's true.
So.
All right. Yeah. No. He kind of thumbs up emojis on that. So what's your next plan?
Well, my next plan is I have not formally met her yet, but I have followed her around some time. I do follow her around a little bit.
Okay.
I think that is probably fine for now. If they had any reason to assume, if they had any reason to assume I was following her, then they're fucking eagle-eyed.
All right.
Yeah, they deserve to know because they earned it. But with the grandson, it's a little different because I've spoken to him.
Sure,
I know
sure.
who he is, and he doesn't know who I am, but he knows of me.
Gotcha.
And so, with him being okay, I think for her, it's not anything that I'm going to act upon immediately this evening. But I'm probably going to. I might accidentally bump into her at some point in the near future.
All right. Noted. And then are you heading back to your own personal haven? Because that's where you know that Sammy would be able to find you? Or what?
Yeah.
What are you else doing with that?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I think I will probably. Yeah, I'll probably head back to my personal haven for the time being.
Yeah,
not the whole
because
evening,
you know that you only have a couple hours left in the night. It's not like danger zone yet, but it is getting there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you head over to your haven and just sort of make yourself ready for that. So back at Willow's house, Willow, Cadence, and Ileana you are leading them through the. Well, Ileana knows the house, so you're leading Cadence through the house, showing her off like how everything's clean and nicely organized, and the house has been really nice and been renovated. So yeah.
Not only do I have a broom, but I also have a dustpan.
I am
Things
so
have
proud
turned
of you.
around. I know. And honestly, if Ileana wasn't here, I don't know if it would be this nice. Thank you, Ileana.
You're so welcome. That's when you get the text message from Alex.
1 minute.
So what did that text message say, Alex?
Hey, Will, where is everybody?
Ooh. Seems like Alex woke up out of his Malkavian slumber.
Oh, that's good to know. And then she's going to send him a text that says how much, or not how much, but do you want to place bets on how long it takes Willow to trash her new place?
Damn.
Alex's response is, holy shit, she hasn't trashed it yet?
No. No, she has not.
I am staked.
Then I've already lost the bet.
Shit. Okay, well, I mean, we can go back, but I do want to show you my rotating closet. It's electronic. Do you want to see it?
Fancy.
Ileana says, can you get him to come over? I want to show him the garden. I want to get his take on it.
You text him, Cadence. I'm too filled with like residual shame or something.
Okay, and she'll shoot off another text with with Willow's new address. Says slumber party, be there or be square.
So I'm gonna grab some pajamas and head over.
Okay.
Shit.
Yeah. So why don't we take this opportunity, Willow, to describe the new house and what how it's generally laid out and what it looks like.
I think it probably has 2 floors. The bottom floor has a kitchen and living room area that's just really big, but she's kind of just using the kitchen area as another place for outlets because you know she doesn't eat. There's some guest rooms in the back where she still has some boxes that aren't completely unpacked, but they aren't like open and strewn out all over the place. Her bedroom's upstairs. And upstairs is also where she in the nursery is where she keeps the dried up husk, just in his own little space. She probably also has her office upstairs next to her room, probably adjoining. If I know Willow, if she was renovating something, she would probably knock a wall out and be like, bed, work, perfect.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's sort of the space she has going on. Just a lot of spare rooms or like offices that she just keeps all of her shit in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, Alex, you show up, you get the quick tour of how Willow has set this up. Yeah, looks pretty.
Looks good. It was good. I like it.
And
Do you have any comment on my bug friend? Do you have anything you want to say about that?
Oh, that turned out to be real, did it?
Yeah, he's like propped up in a chair with like some stuff over him.
well,
Yeah, like sunglasses and a lei.
yeah, that's the dude you pulled out of that hole in your haven. So
I've got just the thing. I'm gonna reach in my bag. I'm gonna pull out a big, oversized John Deere baseball cap and put it on his head.
all right.
If he ever wakes up, he's probably gonna kill me first, and so I just want it to be known that I probably had it coming.
I don't think he's
Right.
gonna kill us.
Eliana wanted to show you something.
I think if he wakes up, he's going to be so thrilled about how fresh he is that he'll just probably give us free powers or something. Ileana, you had something you wanted to show me.
Yeah, it's something I've been working on. I showed the girls here. She leads you out to the backyard where there's kind of like a fenced off kind of greenhouse area. And she opens the door, shows you in, and it looks like a very, very chaotically laid out garden area with a lot of like low underbrush plant growth. But you can see after just a few moments of looking at it, you see that it is vaguely laid out like a map of Atlanta.
Ooh.
And you see that there are two spots on the map where there have been a blooming of red flowers. And she says, part of what this does is it sort of reads the geomancy, the ley lines, particularly how it applies to blood sorcery and Canite magic. And she points to those, and those are the two biggest hotspots.
Where do they correspond to in the real Atlanta?
She pulls out a map that she has recently put some Sharpie on, and from what she can tell and what it looks like when you look at it, it corresponds to the Atlanta Botanical Garden, and Emory, in the Emory neighborhood, most likely the CDC.
Oh God. Okay. So is it just me and Ileana in here at the moment?
Would Cadence?
I wouldn't go back out.
Okay. So I'm going to turn to Ileana and I'm going to sort of drop all of my goofy Alex pretense and I'm going to say, listen, I'm very proud of you for having had the presence of foresight to part ways with the Sword of Cain. However, did you part ways because you hated what they did or because you didn't buy their philosophy?
Well, let me say this. I was in the Sabbat because as fucked up as it was one of the only places where people of my faith could be. Well, it's one of the best places we could hide. It's not a great place we could hide because if found out, we would at best be persecuted, at worst exterminated.
And you worship
the Dark Mother, yes.
I want to share something with you, and I don't want it shared with the others. Not yet, because I don't fully understand what it means.
Hit me.
Lilith came to me in my dream. It's why I think I was out for so long.
She leans forward.
She showed me, and I actually point down at the map of Atlanta that she's built. She showed me this. But she also showed me what lies beneath it. And she, from the best of, I mean, these things are always obviously open to interpretation, but the keenest interpretation that I can come up with based on my own experience is that she is grooming us to be the warriors that not only stop the spread of this particular pathogen, but also become her agents against the antediluvians in this city.
She says, this is one of the reasons I wanted your take on this. That's incredibly good news.
However, you were set apart for some reason in the vision. You were there and you were helping, and specifically you were tearing apart what I interpret to be either an antediluvian itself or an agent of it. But we, the rest of the gang, I guess you haven't been actually fully indoctrinated into the gang yet, but...
I mean, I've taken the Vaudru with you, so...
Right, you did. So you were doing that, and we were she was helping us forge weaponry.
So I was taking apart.
Yeah, you were.
Was it alive or dead?
It was dead. You'd already killed it, and you were chopping it into little bits.
No, I didn't kill him. But he was dead.
Oh, this already happened?
No. I don't know how widely known it is, but our founder, my antediluvian died in 99.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So you were a representation of your entire clan.
Maybe.
I was right. They were the antediluvians. Well, then that does bring up one greater point that is distressing. If my dream, let's be clear, my dream could have been the ravings of a madman in his sleep, but they also have borne out to be somewhat prophetic over the past few months. And if this one also was prophetic, Lilith is equipping us for this fight, but there's one here already. There's one in Atlanta.
I don't know about that. I'm there's a reason why most of the Sabbat is over in the Middle East.
I don't know that for sure that these things are antediluvians. It makes more sense if they are because of the vision specifically of you chopping it up, and your eyes were pouring blood as if you were crying for having done it. But it could be that it was just some sort of an agent of them.
Who knows? But
there's at least one of these things here, whatever it is.
Well, we know that there's this Methuselah at the least. We know this heretic, this exile from the Dark Garden. We know that. But
so there is one point of concern that I will leave you with, because at this point you were the religious scholar. The city was born aloft in the trunk of the tree that we were to chop down. So I don't know if that is an indication that what we're going to do will destroy the city. However, it is my opinion that if we destroy this thing along with it, it is an acceptable loss.
She's kind of like, Alex, I think you might be thinking too small. If it is Lilith who is arming us, who is readying us, then her grievances, the justice that she calls for, goes beyond one city.
Well, then, in that case, Lilith may be arming us to chop down the root that sustains all reality, which is less of an acceptable loss to me, because I have most of my stuff here.
Let me. I'm gonna make a roll for her.
Yeah.
Make a roll for her real quick in order to allow her to be the voice piece of the storyteller.
Yay!
Okay. She says, Alex, I was chopping up the dead. What was I doing with the body parts?
Putting them in a wheelbarrow.
And she just smiles. And she says, fertilizer, Alex. It needs to come down so that something new can grow.
Well, at some other time, I'd like to hear more about your religion, because I have a feeling that whether or not we are worshippers, we're about to be a big fucking part of it.
I wouldn't doubt it. Well, I think the majority of what she's doing is on Cadence's shoulders right now.
Oh yeah, she was first in line.
That makes a lot of sense.
But Madison was there as well. There were a whole host of people I don't know that were also there.
Cool. I will let you read the revelations, Alex.
Right
I mean, I know Cadence has a copy. You can borrow it from her. I have my copy. It might answer a lot of your questions.
Okay.
Here's a chick track.
Yeah.
We should get back before they realize that I'm definitely talking seriously in here.
Sure. No, that's a good idea.
Right. All right. So I go out and trip over the entranceway and fall flat on my face and laugh at myself and get up and rejoin everybody.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you,
appearances after all.
so yeah, you guys come up. They come back in. And like I said, it's getting close to dawn. A couple hours maybe. So what are your guys' plans for the last couple hours of the evening?
Do you guys want to stay here, or what's the deal? I know I have to send a secret message to the Setites here in just a minute using snail mail. But you guys are cool to stay here. I have a guest room that doesn't even have a shriveled corpse in it. And you're welcome to that if you want.
You got a couch? I'm cool with a couch.
Yes, but I'd feel bad about like making you sleep on a couch. Like I get it, you're dusty, but like you can sleep on a bed.
Well, thanks for your permission.
I wouldn't do that to you, Cadence. I love you even though you're dusty. Maybe even because. I don't know yet.
So I appreciate the offer, but since all three of the hunters that have been hounding me for over 2 years are dead, I think I'm going to go to my apartment.
Oh, wow. I guess you can go do that.
Yeah.
Cool. That's fine.
Okay, so you are going to head to your
Weird.
apartment.
As he leaves, I say to Cadence, oh, I forgot to tell him about all the money. I'll
I'll
tell
do
him.
that tomorrow. Money's not going anywhere.
All right.
Should I also tell him about... I'll wait till everyone's in the room. It's kind of sad news.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to be sending off a letter, Willow?
Mm-hmm. I need to send some sort of correspondence to the Setites, something along the lines of, people are looking into you. Are you interested in a little bit of misinformation games?
Gotcha. Okay. That's something you can send out. Now, do you send it like through the postal service? Do you call a courier? How do you get that?
Probably a courier, I imagine, that I'm using to send them stuff.
Sure. Okay, that's doable. Yeah, you can get that picked up just before dawn. So, okay, yeah. So, Cadence, are you doing anything before the sun rises?
Nope. It has
Okay.
been a long couple of days, and she's just gonna make herself scarce and take a very long nap.
Okay. Roman,
Yes.
you get back to your haven, to your personal haven, and you sort of make yourself ready, start getting, making preparations to bed down for the evening in your own damn bed. When there is a knock at your haven door.
Oh, well, that was quick. Yeah, I'll go answer the door.
Okay. It is Mr. Sam G. He comes. He sort of comes in and says, "Wasn't expecting to hear from you."
Yeah, well,
Circumstances.
circumstances. Yeah.
Aren't they the devil?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like,
Come on
well,
in.
he comes in.
Yeah.
He's like, well, although I'm aware that you're not exactly in the fold, you are family. So
Yeah.
what do you need?
Just to, I guess, just to let you know before anything else, I had a chat with the prince earlier this evening.
Ain't she a piece of fucking work?
Yeah. Yeah. She do the shark thing with you?
No, I have to fucking deal with her.
Oh.
Yeah, gotta understand. We're up in Marietta, and that's not actually her domain or anything like her domain.
I see. Well,
Maybe the Four Horsemen have had to deal with her, but they got their own situation.
I see. Forgive me for not being up to date. Who are they exactly?
They're members of the Hecata. They're not family, if you understand my meaning, but they are upstanding members of our greater family. And they've made some arrangements with, the Cam, the Anarchs, the fucking Sabat to handle Wraith shit in the bounds of the city.
I see.
And they basically can, have free reign of everything. They can feed where they want. They don't get fucked with. They're actually set up pretty good. Far be it from me to spread praise for anyone's name who doesn't end with Giovanni or attached subsidiaries, but they've done pretty good for themselves.
Yeah. Well, I guess fence sitting has its perks, I suppose.
Yeah, well, But hey, man. So yeah, Prince, piece of fucking work.
Yeah. She said something to me, something that maybe I'm a little paranoid because of where I'm from, but came off as a little bit of a threat, not just to me.
All right.
But to the family.
That's ballsy of her. I mean, we don't deal with her, but we have our own kind of understanding,
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're not in her domain or anybody, anybody who can consider Atlanta their domain, we're close. I mean, we're real close. So we have an understanding, but it's pretty much neutral, and we haven't stepped on any toes as of late.
Yeah, well, I guess as a result of some of the people I have chosen to associate with, she, in an effort to keep the leash tight, mentioned something about you guys, more or less. And far be it from me to get you guys involved in my shit. It's not what I'm interested in. It's not what I'm after.
I get you.
But I just thought you should know.
It's good to know. Good to know. That's a solid thing of you. You still coming to Christmas?
I believe so.
Good. This is, it's going to be a family affair. But I understand. Let me do you one in return. So you're hoisting the flag of anarchy, right? Be honest with us.
Not necessarily anarchy, but anarch is
right.
the word. That's the word they made up for it.
Sure. All right. Well, you showed some concern for our family, so I'm going to show some concern for you, and I'm even help you out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very common. It's actually pretty fucking rare for any of us to roll with the Anarchs and still be cordial with the family.
Mm-hmm. No, I know.
But it's not impossible. It's not impossible. If you bring something to the table, either something valuable or something worth considering, something that affects the balance of things, something that can help the family to survive and to prosper, then you can still roll with who you roll with and it not be a thing.
I gotcha.
So, maybe tend to your shopping list before you come to the holiday hoedown.
Yeah. Yeah. And then one more thing, and if this is too much, you can tell me to fuck off, and
All right.
that's fine. I been. It happens off and on. It's been happening off and on ever since I died.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been happening on a bit more since I got here, and I don't know if it's just Atlanta or if it's me or whatever. I've been seeing the dead, and
He just kind of smiles.
I know that's a family quirk.
It is. Word to the wise. You know, Atlanta burned to the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Sherman.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dead here. There's a lot of cemeteries. There's a lot of dead soldiers. There's a lot of real bad shit. There's a reason we got who we got rolling around within the bounds of the city. They are, all of them, to the bone, hardcore necromancers. There's shit going on the other side you don't want to know about. So if you're seeing shit, then I'm not surprised. So I would recommend staying the fuck out of that unless you're ready to go hard on that angle.
I was just wondering if there was any way around it. Not either see it less or maybe.
I don't think you're gonna be able to. I don't think you're gonna be able to avoid it, but you can do your best to not stick your dick in it.
Wise.
Maybe don't make Maybe don't make a lot of corpses.
Oops.
That's just common sense. You'd think.
Anyway, Roman, I gotta get going. It's getting close to dawn, and I got my cousins to tuck in.
Yeah, I don't want to keep you.
All right. Well,
Sammy.
I'll see you at Christmas, man.
Yep.
All right. He heads out, and the sun begins to rise in the sky. Not long thereafter.
Before the sun rises, I send a text to Roman, and the text message is, "I'm so proud of you. You're doing great." And then just an emoji with a thumbs up.
So many ways that could be interpreted.
He sees it and is like, "That's a tomorrow me problem."
Okay. All right. So we're gonna move forward a little bit to around about the holiday times, but I'd like to know in the sort of the week and change that this takes. I'm gonna go around the group and just get what everyone's trying to accomplish in that time. So we'll go ahead and start with Willow. What is Willow's plans as it begins to be, festive times?
I would like to get in contact with our Setite friends and let them know. I essentially want to come up with if people are looking into you, maybe you want to let them know what you want to let them know.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah.
And so it's like I want them to let me know.
Gotcha. So you're able
misinformation to spread.
You are able to collaborate with the ministry and put together a packet of information that has just enough truth in it to satisfy your Camarilla handler while not actually putting them at any significant risk. Yeah. And you're able to whisk that off and
Submit my homework.
submit your homework. And you actually have a brief meeting with Damas when you are able to hand that off, during which he accepts the information. He makes a couple of phone calls to verify some of the information in there, and then he makes a phone call, and Hancock is brought to where you meet, to the gallery where you meet, and he has kind of a minder at his side, and it takes only a few moments to realize that he is just mind fuck dominated.
Oh, yikes!
And Damas is he just sort of indicates Hancock and says, "It's been a while since you tightened your leash."
It kind of has been, hasn't it?
It has, and
I'm very eager.
if we're going to use you to keep a handle on hymns, we probably don't want that slipping.
Of course.
She says,
I would be honored.
she's like, "If you wish privacy, it can be managed."
Yes.
All right. He says,
I would love
he says, Stephen here will be staying in attendance for your protection.
I understand.
And Stephen just sort of puts his sunglasses on and pulls out a magazine.
Oh yeah, I'll give him some blood. Fucking love this shit.
Yeah. You are.
He's just yes, I'm daddy now.
Yeah, you are it's kind of pathetic how browbeaten he is. Because he's clearly just had his mind just locked into it. You're able to just put whatever you want into him, no problems.
Oh, it's so nice.
Okay.
Oh, Willow's such a bad person. I love it.
Yeah.
This is
So,
terrible.
Cadence, what do you get up to?
So she's probably kind of made herself scarce around the communal haven, because she didn't have very good holidays during her actual life. So during her unlife, she tries to make those a little bit more enjoyable. So she's actually been doing the cheesy thing and spending more time with her brother than she has with anybody else.
Nice.
That warms the heart.
Yeah.
I am seeing bad sweaters, stockings hang up,
not to super cheese levels. The cheesiest they get is they have a tree with some stupid sports ornaments, but they don't go overboard with decorations.
Okay.
And so she's probably not focusing as much on the work aspect of her life.
Okay.
Other than just, making sure she keeps in touch with and tabs on what the other members of the coterie are doing. And also in ear to the ground in case any other hunters show up.
Sure.
That's really cute.
Alex, what are you accomplishing in the week or so before Christmas?
I'm mostly going to be poring over Revelations of the Dark Mother and trying to sort of pick apart any of the imagery that I didn't spot before and what it might mean. I am specifically looking for imagery involving axes, chopping the root, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Luckily, out of character, I'm very familiar with Revelations of the Dark Mother.
So I mean, you know what you're looking for in that. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely this notion that it can be best summed up in the lyric of a Tool song.
Let's hear it.
Mom's coming round to put it back the way it ought to be. That's sort of the tenor of those passages that you're mining for information. The idea that things have gone astray, and they've gone astray because things went wrong at the beginning, and just like just like in so many families, it's mom that has to really do the emotional labor to set the family aright.
The other thing I'm going to be doing then is I'm going to be spending time in discussion with Ileana about her take on the faith, and I am not at all sold enough to convert, but I want to hear where she's coming from with everything.
Yeah, I mean, she is more than happy to discuss things with her, and her particular slant on the Bahari faith is actually a lot more economical than some of the more hardcore members of that faction. She believes that there's a way for the wayward children of Cain to walk back from the depredations of the Dark Father and the Antediluvians. There's a way for things to be reconciled and come across. It's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of work, and a lot of things have to be shaken up and torn down. But she kind of shares with you that in the recent years, a revelation came out of some of the most deeply entrenched scholarly members of the Bahari religion that indicates that when Lilith came to the garden to steal more of the fruits of the tree of life, and she encountered Eve, that their meeting was not just of a sisterly communion, but it was sexual and romantic. And the passage indicates that the fruit of that union was Cain. That Cain is not Adam's son. And that alone means that she believes that Lilith does not want Cain's destruction. And she does not necessarily want the children of Cain's destruction. She wants him to get his shit together. And that she's recently come to this belief, as a lot of people have done. This is another factor of why she was in the Sabbat. Because that, there was a way to have that conversation with the hardcore followers of Cain, and she wanted to try, but things just fell apart there, and it wasn't safe for anyone in that madhouse.
Okay.
But yeah, and so that's.
And one quick thing: does she get at any point to discussing sort of the Baharist view of chaos as creation?
Oh yeah, absolutely. She
Cool.
she keys in on what you kind of, she's listened to your music.
Right, I'm a descendant of Santa Sena. So.
Yeah. She's she actually mentions she essentially had a vampire seminar with Santa Sana at one point. And
I definitely walk out with the flyer and the hymnal.
Cool.
All right, cool.
All right, and Roman, what does Roman get up to in the week before Christmas?
So yeah, I think a lot of his week is probably going to be spent both fortifying his haven, the way that is reflected on his sheet, and so that means getting the armory installed and getting security set up and stuff like that. And the other thing he's going to do is go gift shopping.
Okay.
For his meeting with the family. I think probably willing to put down a decent chunk of resource dots on a nice gift.
Okay.
I think what I'd also like is probably to get in touch with Willow and ask her for a quick little primer on some security information, and I'll be happy to pay her for her time.
Sure.
And not letting her know that I'm probably going to give some of this information to the Giovanni
Gotcha.
as a as just a means
gift.
of being like, hey, yeah.
So I'd like you to roll intelligence politics for me, please.
Do that. Okay. That is 3 successes.
So yeah, you definitely think the gift is nice, and that's like sort of a sign of respect. But as far as like getting what you want, not being in a bloody feud with your estranged family members and still rolling with the anarchs and building what you want to build. What they told you last time about the infection and about how like dire that is.
Yeah. That has also been on my mind.
Yeah. That is actually probably your strongest card because that affects them.
Yep.
And that is a powerful card to play to get what you want from them, or to maybe even secure some form of alliance against it. Because
yes,
you doubt in your heart of hearts that whatever plan the Camarilla has to keep themselves safe from that includes the Hecata.
Yeah. And that was something that I when I was talking to Sammy, that was something that had kind of like it assuaged me just a bit, because right now Roman is like, doesn't matter what faction you're in, I don't know who I can trust.
True.
And to hear that these guys, like, he's of course willing to go meet with them and talk to them and stuff, but to hear that they have as little to do with the city as possible, that is actually a good thing. The people he doesn't trust are explicitly like the Four Horsemen. There's no way that they're in good with every faction and not a part of whatever the fucking weird shit that's going on is.
Maybe. But yeah, you think that probably your strongest move is to get whatever you can in the way of proof to back up that claim, so that you can not just like fill their heads with a horror story, but like show that it's actually a threat. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back in, and it's 2 nights before Christmas, 2 nights before your family meeting. And you guys have been doing your business. Everyone roll rouse check for hunger for me, please. And assume that you've kind of maintained yourself one way or another. And yeah, you guys have arranged an early evening meetup at the communal haven, just to touch base and strategize for going forward.
Okay.
So yeah,
in this time, I suppose everyone's been kind of busy in the week, and Willow just never got around to telling everyone the news that she got from the black box.
Okay, so
it was tough to get everyone in the same room.
Well, here we are.
All right. So, do you guys remember that sad news I was talking about a while ago? No. So the very sad news is that, well, do you want good news first or sad news first?
I would love to hear some good news first, please.
Okay. The good news is that my good friend, Smiling Jack, came through and deposited a really obscene amount of money that we have access to, and I have kind of been dipping my toes into. Now, when I say obscene, I mean like obscene.
Well, see, I sort of immediately take issue with the idea that Smiling Jack showing up is ever good news, but go ahead with the next part.
Okay, well, that's the good news.
Oh, no.
And that I kind of have a theory that maybe Madison is behind it. So there's not a lot for this theory, but I think so.
The guy in the mirror.
Yeah. Our good friend Madison, who is somewhere. I just, due to like rumors I kind of think this might be him
Well,
looking down like a gold angel.
He's definitely still participant in what we're doing. I can confirm that.
That's really good to hear. Do you want to see the accounts?
It's obnoxious.
A little bit.
I don't want to see them, but can I get a PlayStation?
Yes.
Now, I want
Why
to.
do you need our permission? That's my question.
Oh, right. I'm also rich. Fuck. Yeah, that's great. I'm happy for us.
So something I want to clarify about the account information that you got off of this message. It's not that these accounts are like obscenely loaded.
There's just a lot of them.
There's a lot of them, and a lot of money moves in and out of these accounts. So it's not as though you have this access to this vast store of wealth. It's that you can there are things that you can skim, like you can, if you find the right account at the right time, you could perhaps get a giant windfall, but money does not stay in these accounts. Other people are taking money, other people are putting money into this. It is representative of some sort of financial network that you have been keyed into.
So that's the really good news.
It's Jack's child support funds.
That's really funny. I should have sent a message back, something along those lines.
That was a missed opportunity.
He probably would have thought it was funny too.
He would have thought it was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack doesn't
That's a
pay
real
child
knee
support.
slapper.
Yeah, knee slapper. So you said something about bad news, and I don't like that.
So the bad news is a great baron in Los Angeles was murked. And the cam is moving in ever stronger. So that's the bad news. It's not looking good.
With us.
Oh, I mean, it's got to do with us that any sort of any sort of success that the Camarilla sees in Los Angeles, they'll be sure to try to visit here eventually.
Sure.
Yeah. He'd been the baron of that place for a good long time. I wish I knew how they fucking murked him, but...
Another point of clarification. The message that you got says that Baron Abrams left.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had said...
No, he had moved on. He had left.
Baron Abrams is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, gotcha. So then the message she would redo would just be like, LA's going through really hard and really turbulent times. Really sad. That's the bad news.
Well, my understanding is that that's just LA at any given time.
A big figure moved. It's like knocking out a queen. How's that? That being said, another queen is in his place. What? Miss Nellie is not Baron Abrams.
Well, I mean, it's good to know. Thank you for... I definitely think that it's important that we keep our eyes on that situation.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing. Makes me think that everything that we're doing is like kind of worthless. I have those moments where I'm like driving by myself at night and I'm like, oh wow, what are we even doing here? You know what I mean? It just plants seeds of doubt.
Sure. I feel very strongly that what we're doing here is important and good.
Sometimes I do need to hear that because I just don't feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've definitely all fed in the city at one point or another. And so, what was it, June? Is that how long we've got?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not ready to explode or whatever's going to happen.
Well, I doubt any of us will actually feel it until that day.
Yeah. Well, and so that helps me. That's what's been helping me stay grounded, and anchored to the situation at hand.
Yeah.
I don't know if that does anything for you.
No, I suppose in the past I have been called something of a pessimist. So no, I guess not.
All right.
I mean, there are ways to get the thing out. We just can't do them ourselves.
I've been looking into that.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's my turn here. I've got a meeting in a couple days with some family members.
Oh, right, the ones who came to say hi when we were visiting.
Yeah. Is there anything we don't want them to know just yet, or?
Oh yeah,
Lots of things.
yeah. We don't ever want them to know about that goblet and the things that the rituals that.
Oh
we
yeah. No.
Like that's pretty standard.
They don't need to know that.
Right.
I was thinking more along the lines of the infection.
Oh, no, we definitely want them to know about that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that any kindred that are even tertiarily on our side should know about that. That's, I mean, what the Camarilla is doing here. Holy shit! If they're doing it in Los Angeles too.
Oh, wow, that really sent a bolt of fear through me.
Well, we don't know if they're doing it in LA.
Quick
I wanted
question.
to say no.
Quick question, Willow. While you were canoodling with the ministry, did you share that information with them?
Let me think. If I was able to talk face to face with Eli, then probably yeah.
Okay.
But through messages, no.
Yeah, yes, but if you were able to get a very brief face-to-face meeting, and if you would have shared that information, he would be very interested and very concerned about it, and like, we are gonna get on that. We're gonna circle back after after the winter solstice, and we're gonna have ourselves a nice little talk about that.
Yeah, my concern right now is that it is large enough that it belies belief just a little bit. Do we have any proof that this is going on?
Unless you want...
Anything a little harder than the new guy in town says so?
Well, I know it's true because I saw someone pull one of those evil spirits out of me.
Does consulted with wizards mean anything? Do you
I
think
consulted
that's
with werewolves.
Might
more
work.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
that sounds even crazier.
Yeah, but they're they're like necromancers, right? So like saying
I don't know.
got the info
well,
from wizards.
No, I've already asked. I could have. I was thinking about maybe making it up and saying that I heard about it from a ghost or something, but.
I mean, I could go with you and like tell them exactly what I saw.
You know, that might do it actually.
And I mean, you guys see ghosts, you don't see spirits.
I don't remember if I was told that it was cool to bring a +1 or not. It being a family meeting, maybe not, but I think
They
they'll
can
want
put her
to.
at the kids' table.
They'll want to hear what you have to say.
You know what?
after
Fuck
I
you,
say what I
Willow.
wanna say.
I'm just saying.
Put me at the fucking kids' table.
Yeah. I think it wouldn't hurt too much if you came with. I
I don't gotta stay for the entire thing.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for
Cadence, give me a double wits roll, please.
double wits, okay. Ooh, that's nice. That's 3.
Okay, so you think back to your conversation with Rock and the two Gayru ladies, and you remember that they talked about how they had identified that they were spreading this contagion through multiple means, like they're putting it in the water. They were sort of infecting the local plant life, expecting that like the yearly plant orgy that happens in Atlanta, Everyone but James here is lucky to not know what I'm talking about.
I hate my life.
Yeah.
You know what's really great is when that's happening during a pandemic that does upper respiratory things.
Yeah, you know.
Ay.
You know,
Poor baby.
it's hard to have allergies in Atlanta right now because it's the fucking pod people scream. But anyway, they're doing that. And you also remember that he talked about that they were putting it out through like charity food for the homeless. And you think that if you that seems like something physical that you can get your hands on that might, you know, they're occultists and necromancers and whatnot. If you had something that you could like put in your hand, that might be a card to play that would be some sort of physical proof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, fam, I brought you some banana bread.
Yeah, pretty much.
Slap it
You
on
get
the
a
table.
fruit cake, find a fruit cake.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Make it seasonal.
Yeah.
And she's like, so she thinks about it for a second. She's like, like if we got something that they had actually painted, then maybe we could test for it there. It would ping on someone's magical radar.
Yeah, maybe. They're.
I mean, do we have a way of spotting? Because they're infecting mortals with this, right?
Yeah, they've been using food banks and stuff.
Do we have any way of spotting a mortal that's been infected, or do we just sort of guess
I
that if we
mean,
get
if
one
we-
from
What I would say would be if we can find, because like I said, they're distributing it like through food banks and charities and whatnot. If we can link one of those back to something that we know is affiliated with the CAM, then we could just send someone to pick something up in line.
Somebody roll me intelligence politics, please.
I'll let Roman do that.
What wasn't? Oh God, I'm remembering something from way back early in the campaign.
2 successes.
Well,
Successes.
okay. So yeah, you guys know that Prince Adelia is a major player in the philanthropic community of Atlanta. She has her hands in charities, homeless shelters, and whatnot. And
Wasn't there that women's shelter that we're supposed to donate to whenever we cross into CAM territory?
Yep.
And so you think that you can probably narrow down if you find like a homeless shelter or that women's shelter or someplace where they hand out a lot of food that she has her hands directly in, the likelihood of getting a tainted sample is very high.
Yeah, that should be easy enough. Yeah, I don't want to do that. But yeah, I think it should be pretty easy to get our hands on some of that tainted food, I
Yeah,
suppose.
no, we just send someone through the line.
Yeah.
People with auspex, please give me a wits awareness roll.
Ooh, I have so much auspex.
I most certainly do not.
You can add your auspex to this roll.
Ooh.
Oh. Ew.
I got you. I'm waiting for 5.
Mm.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Willow,
so good.
you hear some noise out on the streets. It's not very identifiable to you. Alex, you hear some very distinct sounds of like a handful of barking dogs that like are like you can almost like pinpoint they're just out there in your territory, like in your domain. Like you can tell that there's like a handful of dogs that are just running around barking their heads off.
Cadence,
Yeah?
do you Willow? I thought this was a good neighborhood.
What kind of remark is that?
So no leash law here. It sounds like several dogs out in the yard there.
Do
You guys
I
not
know-
hearing that?
None of our
Sure.
neighbors have dogs that I'm
Yeah.
aware of. Want to go
Would
check?
Well, I mean,
Law?
I don't feel like what I'm hearing sounds good.
I vote Alex go check.
Oh,
I got this. Scott, do I know of any like packs of strays or anything in the area?
There are a couple.
Okay, so she'll go check to see if one of them is like.
Go
trying to get
go ahead
the
and just
garbage.
give me a wit survival real quick. We're gonna handle this real quick because we're almost at our break.
Okay. That's 3.
So yeah, you head around, you find some of these dogs, and when you sort of find the dogs, it's incredibly strange. Like one of them stays with you, while 2 others run off like barking, and then a very big dog finds its way to you, and it has like a collar that has something strapped to it, and it just sort of marches up to you and just sort of like doggy grins at you.
Ooh.
That's weird.
I mean,
She's gonna snarl at it.
It just like it looks a little worried, like it's clearly like not okay with you being aggressive towards it, but it seems like it needs to stay in your presence, and it just sort of motions to you.
What's the thing on its collar?
It just seems like some sort of container, like a little plastic box.
there's
Oh.
a message in there.
Yeah, no, she's gonna try to check that out.
You get that, and what's inside of it is 4 tickets to the movie theater where Willow was able to extract Indja. And it's for a showing in about 2 hours.
You guys remember movie theaters?
Yeah, I know. It's great. But
I remember this one.
with that, we're going to go ahead and go on our break. See you guys in a bit.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Simulacra Studios Presents Vampire the Masquerade Burn It Down. We are joined by Ray Kuban, who is playing the NPC of Indja, Malkavian, with whom the coterie has had some experience before. We open in a movie theater. It's a family-run movie theater up in Alpharetta that shows Bollywood and other Indian subcontinent movies. The coterie has made their way up to Alpharetta, probably Willow's car, and is making ready to go into the theater. Now, during the ride up, I'm assuming that Roman would have some questions.
So, the skinny of it is, the sheriff used to have a pet, and we stole them from the sheriff, and we're gonna go meet them today. It's been a long time.
All right.
They're very psychic or something like that. Like whatever Alex is.
Right. Whatever
Yeah,
I am.
No, the sheriff had a Malkavian pretty bloodbound, and then we went and
Undid that.
tore off that leash, and
Right on.
she's chill. She can't, or they're chill.
Yeah, I think you
Cameron,
like them. I think you like them a lot.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I cannot wait to hear from their perspective what it was like to like see the fall. I'm fucking salivating up here.
All right.
She just keeps driving.
So yeah, you guys arrive. It seems like there's some people here, but it seems like this showing that you have is a private showing. So it's in one of the smaller sort of indie art house theaters in this place, and you have tickets for it. The ticket taker takes it, shows you to the door of the theater, and you open. There's some previews playing, but sitting in one of the sort of the prime seats in the theater is Indja.
Willow just strides up and just sits down right next to Indra. Hello.
Good to see you again.
I am extraordinarily pleased to see you specifically again. It's almost
Willow,
ominous.
you're making it sound weird.
It's not weird.
It's definitely weird.
It's definitely weird.
It's totally weird.
For the benefit of Roman and the audience, Indja is a person of Indian descent. They are dressed very stylishly, but very androgynously. It's not entirely certain what gender they are, if any. And she's pale, but has a very quiet demeanor. But is sort of very, very centeredly sit in this fairly nice chair that is in this part of this theater. There's only maybe about 24 seats in this particular theater.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Before we get into anything, Indja, this is Roman. Roman's cool. Roman, this is Indja. Indja is also cool.
Good to meet you. Glad we're cool.
Good to meet you. Well, I'm glad to see that you all got the tickets.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a weird way of getting them to us, but thanks.
Via dog? Yeah, a little. Yeah, I suppose that was a little weird, but I'm glad that it happened because I've been trying to get a hold of you for months.
So something to note as the film starts. This particular film is an old silent movie that is still Indian produced. So you don't actually have to talk over it. There's some music that plays, but
some ambiance.
Yeah.
So I want to know how you've been, Indra, since we liberated you. I'm dying to know.
I've actually been really, really well. So I've been working with Dr. Netchurch, and he is just incredible. I'm so pleased to have this honor to work with him, help him. It's so much better than,
Yeah. So.
Slavery, yeah.
Now? I mean, yeah. So, I also want to know how you feel about my handiwork. Have you seen him around? Is he looking a little dozy around the eyes?
You've actually stayed pretty isolated from him, but you've heard that he is not doing well both politically and mentally.
I actually haven't interacted for obvious, but the rumors that I've heard, he's not doing very well at all.
Does that warm the cockles of your heart?
Maybe just a little bit to see karma manifest so quickly.
Oh yeah. Yes. Willow is more like, especially to Roman, this is the most excited he's ever seen her. She's a very like dozy sort of person, but right now she's like laser focused. So I you don't have to thank me, but if you do want to thank me, go ahead.
Oh, thank you.
You don't have to thank her.
You really shouldn't. She's gonna keep getting weirder.
I literally saved their life. Were Second Inquisition there? Yes, I think that they were. Do you guys remember that? I remember that.
Yeah, I do.
It was very fucking daring.
It was very daring.
Very. So
You're basically a hero.
Run into them a lot, do you?
Yes. Unfortunately.
I mean, not often.
twice. But anyways, what's the occasion? Why are we here watching movies?
I'm going.
Well, I thought we wanted to get together and have a little chat.
Yes.
So I thought it would just be fair to invite everybody, or as much of the original group that I could. So.
Yeah, Madison is
Oh
gone.
no.
1 second. And she's going to pull out her phone and text the group chat. Are we telling her about, or telling them about the this evil spirit mushroom thing?
Willow takes one look at her phone and just looks up and says, "Yes, a little bit." Like she says it aloud.
Okay. So we learned some stuff recently that I think we'd like to pass along to you because it's concerning.
Okay.
Concerning. That's a nice way to put it.
I mean,
Not untrue.
yeah, no, concerning is an understatement, but whatever, I'll let you draw your own conclusions. So, found out recently that there's a little bit of a not a sickness, but like an infection going on in the humans right now. It's pretty much harmless to them, and then when we eat them, it gets into us. And come mid-June-ish, I think, that infection is going to sprout forth from us a la cordyceps and make us walk into the sun.
Oh.
Yeah. We just wanted your special insight.
Okay.
And also to let you know, because, you know, you're a friend and, like, deserve to know.
Not for nothing, but you work with NetChurch, right?
Right. Yeah. I was not aware of that last part, but I have been working with him regarding this. I've actually been working on a suppressant for it, so you would just need to periodically be dosed with it to keep it at bay.
Knows? Of course he already knows. Duh.
So, is that something he's doing on his own? Is that like a cam-wide thing?
I mean, it's something that was given to us at the behest of the prince. It's a special project they wanted us to work on. I mean, obviously, it's for the best of kindred kind.
The pieces kind of fallen in place. I see.
I mean, that's why it doesn't hurt. It's not going to kill them. That makes perfect sense.
But yeah, no, we only recently found out about it here on the Anox side, so I mean, that's great. Like, do you know how it works?
I don't actually. Like I said, I didn't know about that last part. We've just kind of been trying to see if we can isolate it and get more information so we can work on doing the a suppressant or a vaccination for it.
Okay, well, I can tell you exactly what it is.
Okay.
It's this thing called a Bane, which is like a nature spirit but evil.
Maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but how well known is it that this is going on amongst the camp?
To your knowledge, Indja, not very well known at all. Like it's a very secret project.
It doesn't seem to be very well known. Like I said, we only learned about it from the prince herself. So, and none of the subjects I've seen have any active symptoms. So I didn't even know it was going to be a threat. I thought it was something we were doing in case
Yeah,
it gets
no,
to a
it's
larger
it's
point.
definitely a thing. I was talking to some folks who know more about that side of the supernatural than we do. They actually pulled one out of me. It was nasty looking.
So, and Indja, you may not know the answer to this question. In fact, I'd be rather surprised if you do. But how is the prince squaring this uh, very obviously,
Genocidal.
not just genocidal, but really borderline breaching behavior with other members of the Camarilla, because she's co-opting uh, other supernaturals to fight in our war, and that's very close, at least in some legal circles, to a breach.
Well, like I said, I didn't know that it was apparently a nature spirit. So the information I have, unfortunately, is rather limited. I don't know if they are squaring that circle or not.
Yeah, because you don't know. You just heard about it from the prince. You don't know how she found out about it, right?
Right. All I knew is we were working on a preventative. We were responding to a potential contagion outbreak. Excuse me.
Okay.
I'm a little distracted.
All right.
So I didn't know about this whole. It's
Well,
going to get out there. It has a timeline or anything like
yeah,
that.
no, there is a timeline.
It's gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, and so actually, if you know, because like I said, it's a type of spirit, and they can be removed, albeit it was a very weird process. I'm not actually sure that all folk have the capabilities to do anything against it. But if we do, would you mind passing that along to us? Because we're trying to square that away on our end too.
Yeah, I don't see any harm for that. I mean, I know we've been working once we have it finalized. We are planning on doing a distribution for the counter agent throughout the Camarilla, excuse me. So I'm certain we should be able to eventually extend that further regarding loyalty lies and other, friends and negotiations. I'm sure we can make that work.
Huh.
Yikes. Fuck.
Cadence sends out another text. Do we actually tell her the prince is behind it?
Okay,
tell him the prince is behind it. I'm sorry.
My response to that text is, "Oh, my bad. I thought I just said that."
So Indra, the biggest reason I wanted to talk to you was we are aware that there is a group of cultists deep within our city, mostly responsible for this, right? We know who some of them are, and we want to try to stop them from, killing all the licks in the city. You dig? Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
The prince is doing it.
The prince.
Yes, you're
and
welcome.
A bunch of others. And the thing is, we know a couple, but there's a couple of empty spots that we have no idea, no hint, no anything. The guy that we were going to have get in on it disappeared into a mirror, and we haven't seen him since. So, you, I feel, are the next best thing. Your insight kept order
Not
in
to
the
make
city.
it sound like you're not amazing and awesome. You're not a second choice in this. Didn't mean to make it sound like that.
I mean, no. But you once kept order in the city, in a way. You were the brain and he was the hand, right?
It's very simple to offer you the same safety
You're going to offer. Do you think the prince will offer that safety to every anarch?
Oh, on an individual basis, I'm sure.
Yes, see, that is absolutely
That's
despotism and not our
that's-
sort of thing.
little bit of a problem. You understand, because especially if it's something that needs to be taken often, and God knows how often. Once you guys actually get it through the door, uh, do you at least see our concern for the potential abuse of power that could bring about?
I definitely see that, and if it works the way that you've explained, yes, that is a terrible thing, and I I it- surely we can somehow manage to extend assistance in regards to this. I mean,
Yeah. No, that's kind of what we're worried about. What do we have to do to earn the right to exist?
Right. Yeah, that very well put, Roman. Good job.
Yeah, that was eloquent.
Thanks.
You're doing great, man. I want to let you know that, but you're doing just great.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so we are anarchs, and sort of our thing. I know it's colloquial, but we don't like it when one vampire has the reins over literally every single one of us, no matter who we are. Because even in the hands of the most of the kindest and most merciful, that power is definitely beyond dangerous, and your prince is not the kindest or most merciful.
well, perhaps I I don't unfortunately we don't even have it completed yet, so I can't even say how much we would need, but perhaps if some information about where it might be once it's completed.
That would be
Lovely.
wonderful.
Alternatively, like I said, because I can tell you as much as I can, or as much as I've learned about what the thing is. What about even exchange? You just keep us appraised of your progress along the way.
That's
Yeah.
super
I
fair.
could do that.
That's not asking you to go against your loyalties or anything. It's not asking you to guarantee that this thing is going to be whatever cure you come up with is going to be available to everyone immediately. It's just an exchange of information between two people who happen to get along.
Indja, I'm going to make a roll for you. What's your intelligence academics?
Do- 6.
6. Okay. Let me make this roll real quick. You start to sort of put the pieces together about that idea, and the problem is that lines of communication would be very difficult to manage. Any sort of regular update, you're not supposed to be having this meeting right now. You know, the Cam and the Anarchs are in a state of war. You would have to. It would be a layer of complication that would be A, dangerous, and B, very, very stressful for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about regular communication. Just we're we're not really supposed to be out and about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. there?
Got a
Question.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would just like GM in general, would I be able to like get around this sort of by just like having a file that I upload periodically with the notes that they might also have encrypted access to? Regarding research?
I mean, you know that the Camarilla as a whole has come down very hard on digital communication. You could do that, and it could be as secure as you could make it, but you would be considered, that would be considered a borderline masquerade breach, as well as like the risk of that being found. That's a borderline masquerade breach. That's consorting with the enemy.
Mm-hmm. You get in a lot of trouble.
I mean, I can think of another borderline masquerade breach that'll be going on here pretty soon, but
What about like
KGB style drop offs and shit.
yeah, like a
That's the
Dropbox,
other
so
one I was
like
thinking.
a PO box that you can mail something to.
That's more secure, but it's still, you have to manage those logistics, because you're in a fascist regime, and they monitor everything you do, and
keep their eyes out.
Wait.
sorry, Cadence, go ahead.
I mean,
Malkavians talk to each other with their brains. I don't know how it works.
Yes, but
It's a little bit more complicated than that, and any communications we sent back and forth over those lines would be ripe for interception.
that would just be a completely unsecure cloud.
wait a second.
In some cases, literally a cloud. It's weird. It's difficult to explain.
Oh no,
Hey,
I
wait,
understand.
Willow.
What's up?
Like, what about you? Because you got ins with Dumas. Could we utilize that?
Oh yeah. I suppose I do kind of have one foot over there. So my thing with Dumas is I'd like to avoid spending too much time with him, period, for one reason, and I get the feeling he can see through me like I'm a fucking pane of glass. And so I'd like to keep our secret rendezvous like secret a little longer, you know?
Fair enough, but he's a person.
Roman is like, what?
He is a person of rank within the cam who believes that you also have designs on being.
Yeah, and we're pretty sure he's a part of the cult. I want to leave that completely out of it.
Okay.
Listen, there's a long list of people that are, and he's on it. I'm sorry, Indra. And I understand if you cannot get that to us, but if you can make it so we can stop it before, would love it. Seriously.
Yeah. Before it can, yeah. If that's something that is within the realm of possibility for you and Dr. Netchurch, I'm sure it doesn't interest him at all. The idea that something like this is possible, I can't even imagine too many people in the cam who would be super happy to know that something like this exists, just on the off chance that it can be turned against them. If you could let him know, and I figure he's probably got a little bit longer of a leash. Maybe he could get in touch with us.
Busy
Does
man.
have a certain degree of freedom, but
I am really,
Especially-
really regretting getting rid of that boon now.
Especially if you only tell him half.
Half is almost all.
And we can definitely explain the rest to him. We'd love to. We'd love the opportunity.
Alex, I'd like you to roll Wits Insight for me, please.
Okay, I have good and those. wits and insight. 2 hits.
So you puzzle out, like, from what you've heard about from Indja, from what you've sort of are gathering about how Dr. Netchuk is getting this and how the prince is utilizing these Malkavians. You're fairly certain that she is pushing all of their buttons. She is exploiting the curse of Malkav to get these people to do what she wants. And that offends you. And that's an inherently offensive thing to a member of Clan Malkavian. And you get the insight, just basically your read off of Indja and your knowledge of the situation, and how manipulative the prince is. You're seeing the signs of that in this conversation.
Oh, I'm seeing that she looks like she's being controlled.
Yeah, that through her very orderly mind, her need for rituals, she's been plugged into this plan and is being manipulated via her own madness.
Oh no.
No bueno.
Damn, I wish I had bought Dementation. Okay. So I'm going to text the rest of the group and say, she's under, I'm going to say she's under the prince's thumb. I don't think we're getting anywhere.
I understand that you cannot give us that information in regards to the vaccine or cure. Do you think that you could give us insight on the members of the cult, or do you think that is something that you are unable to do? Be honest with me. I'm not going to be mad. I'll be disappointed.
Oh,
but not mad.
I don't believe I could. If you wanted to speak with the doctor, I could relay. And like I said, I could probably get 1 drop of information to you.
How is it that you were always able to give Hancock all of his information?
because they were always fucking together.
No. Auspex? What is it? What did you do? Dogs.
No, I mean you.
No.
Yeah, he basically had you as a visionary on command, and he would have you perform your conspiracy theory webs at the snap of his fingers, and he would extract information off of that.
Yeah, he just made me basically focus so I could see what was coming, what was happening, all the outcomes, all the situations, and then he would put it together.
Okay. Do you think that you can do this for the people that saved your life?
I am trying. This is
stressful.
Yes.
Let's not push too hard then.
Like I said, I could have you speak with the doctor himself and see if there's more that he knows. I mean, he does speak with the prince directly and has more. He's very, very analytical. The emotional component will not work on him at all. But if you make it
tantalizing.
Yes.
From that,
especially any
from
kind of
that
puzzle perspective.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm happy to tell him everything that I know about this thing and how it gets into folks and what it specifically is, you can pass that along to him, and if he's interested, he's willing to reach out himself, or he's able to reach out himself.
All right. And I am still willing, once we have it done, to let you know where it will likely be,
Mhm.
in case it falls off the truck, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
But I am sorry that
It's
I don't
okay.
seem to have what you need.
That's
as far
fine.
as-
No, you are.
Like I said, we really only came here
I
to
don't
stop
think that.
because we wanted to make sure you knew so you could make sure you were okay.
And I do appreciate that very much. But yes, no, I will definitely relay that message, and I will let you know when I know more.
I tell you
I can
what,
only do that once.
Mm-hmm.
just for you doing that, I owe you one personally.
Alex, could you please roll for premonition, please?
Oh, really? Really? Which is my way of saying yes, I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be resolve plus auspex. One success.
Would you like to spend willpower?
Willpower allows me to re-roll 3 dice.
Three black dice, yes.
3 black dice. Yeah, I'll do that. Sounds good to me. And that's 2 more, so
Okay.
3 total.
So, Alex and Indja, while you're having this conversation, the two of you begin to feel those strands of connection between the two of you. As you begin to feel that rush of visionary information, and you know that you are both experiencing this at the same time. You're close to each other. You're both fairly potent seers, and you can feel the wave bouncing back and forth between you. And you see, you actually see the vision in Cadence, from Cadence's perspective, because you feel like it burning off the top of her mind, her memories of waking up in the middle of the day, of having this thing burst out of her chest and her throat as it puppets her out into the sunlight and burning. And then you just see it's like a fire that gets contained, but then the containment fails, and you just see the burning crossing over the south and the world, and you see the world on fire.
Oh, Lord. So he'll sort of sit down real heavy right where he's at. And just kind of he'll look like he's in some distress, but he won't really be able to talk. So you guys will see him just sort of collapse where he's at.
Alex.
Just gonna wave a hand in front of his face.
Come on, Alex.
He's out. How's Indja looking?
Oh yeah, does she look
Great.
like she saw it too?
Yeah, you get the sensation that you shared that vision.
Okay. Oh.
I am growing exceptionally. Roman, tell me to keep my top on. Come on.
What?
Tell me to keep it together.
Keep-
I'm about to fucking start
Maybe you
screaming.
should take
and I
a
don't
walk.
want to.
Take a
No,
walk.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna take a walk.
No, like just
Just go, just up to the top seats.
No.
okay.
Okay.
What are you seeing?
I don't think the suppressant agent's gonna work.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Oh.
Just spread all across. Little dot across the east, southeast, across the country, across the world.
Right.
You gonna be? You need a second?
You saw it too, right?
Saw what?
Yeah, I did.
So. Okay.
Was it Candace in your vision too, or Cadence in your vision too?
Mhm.
I see.
Okay, you mind telling me what you guys saw? I was in it.
It's crazy that every vision I ever have these days has you right at the center of it.
Magical destiny.
Magical destiny.
Magical destiny.
Fuck you and your fucking magical destiny.
I think that it's very important that we not take it for granted that the prince is going to be able to keep control of this thing.
Great.
I mean, I didn't take it for granted to begin with because
Sure.
I had the vision about who's really behind it, so...
Right. Yeah, this goes deeper than all that. So, if that's the case, what can we do?
Well, we got to look at the resources we have available to us. Now, I know that these things can be taken out of folks because I saw one taken out of me. There's probably another one in there now, but I know it's possible. Now, the way it was done with me was a type of magical purification that we don't have access to. And the people who do ain't going to help us because they're werewolves. So.
Sure, of course they are.
But we know that it's possible, so we got to find a way of... I probably can't learn more about that, but
So we've been working really hard to keep this under wraps, it seems.
Yeah.
To me, might be worth doing the exact opposite. Just letting everybody know.
I wanted to call a rant.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
It was something I would really like to do in the future, sometime soon.
So we want to just let it out there and let the dice fall where they may to force people to start being more accountable.
I would love to if most of the anarchs weren't under the actual control of somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm just saying there's a lot of linchpins that could really use a machete to the neck to, I don't know, fucking solve some of this. And I don't know who all of them are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we need. That's what we really need to focus on. I think that is the thing we need to focus on is figuring out exactly who is in this.
Yes.
Exactly who is there. We need to funnel every single resource we have into figuring out who these people are, because until we do, we're chickens with our heads cut off, and we're just going to be running in circles.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Indja, everything they're saying in front of you, you know that this would be very valuable information to send up the chain. This could get you and your clan and your primogen. This would do wonders for your position in the Camarilla to have all of the things that they're saying to you sent through the channels.
At least for 6 months.
Right.
I'm just saying that is a fact of the Camarilla existence. You know that they are saying that they know this stuff, that they know what's going on, the things that they're talking about. Very top tier valuable information for you.
Noted. No, just focus on the movie.
Okay, me too.
Same.
Willow
Like,
is
I
just dying on
stopped-
the inside while watching
stopped-
Indian Charlie Chaplin.
I stopped paying attention to all of that, and I just heavily focused on the movie at this point. Like, oh god.
Existential dread.
Oh, Indra.
Well, I don't think I can help you with your linchpin problem
Yeah.
that much.
No, that's fair.
I would love to see the spider webs on the wall or whatever it is you do. Even if I get nothing from it, I could leave this interaction knowing I did my best.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Scott?
I'm not telepathic.
Yeah. Yes, Indja.
What would I need to do that?
I believe you have telepathy.
How many members of the cult are there? 9? Spots.
Spots. There's 9 spots. You don't know if they've all been filled or not.
Yeah. I need some help.
I don't see telepathy.
Okay. Anyone who'd like to roll wits insight, I'll of the coterie, I'll allow you to. That's an appropriate moment to do so.
I'll take a look.
Said wits insight.
Yeah.
3 hits.
Okay.
Aim dice, fool, baby.
Also 4.
4. Okay.
I got 2.
2. You've kind of rocked Indja a lot as far as like just putting a lot of information ahead of her. She's in a very delicate situation. But you don't think she's unreachable. You think that there may be a way to really get her to come over to your side. But you just have to navigate her particular madness and her station. You think that it's probably important that you try.
Mm-hmm.
This is a job for people who have good social skills. I believe in you boys.
I have good social skills. I know nothing of Indra's madness.
Oh, I might be able to assist with that particular quandary. Could I do? Well, I got 3 successes on a wit's insight. Can I?
Well, yeah,
figure out?
you're fairly certain that she has a very obsessive compulsive nature, and you know that's the nature that the prince through Net Church has exploited her by.
Right. Okay.
And you definitely, like I said, that's an intensely offensive thing for the clan as a whole.
Oh yeah, we're gonna murder the absolute dicks out of this prince for sure.
But that might be something that she's not seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, they are not seeing.
I don't know that I have the. Hold on. Lore sheet of Ascenta Sana.
Ha ha ha!
What might I be able to do with that bullshit?
You bought some goodies to get some blood from this stone.
As
Poor Indra.
Alex
This
is
is too much.
contemplating that, Cadence is gonna put a hand on Willow's shoulder, and she's like,
Probably
"Listen,
need a
what's
second.
wrong?"
I'll be honest. I probably need to step outside for just a second.
I'm just saying we've thrown a lot out there. Maybe just let our friend process things before we go making demands.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing I have not much further to say about all of this except, Indja, don't. be careful that you don't fall into the trap of allowing people who say they are your friends to take advantage of your lineage. Did everybody just get dead silent, or?
No, we're waiting for
Okay.
the droplets of wisdom to sink into the soil.
Okay. Thank you. So yeah, I'll go ahead and when I leave here, I'll let the doctor know. I think that will be a good avenue to speak with.
I think so too.
Yeah. No. For political differences, the good doctor seems to be pretty solid, if weird, dude.
He just wants to know stuff. That's
Yes.
we know stuff.
Knowing for the sake of knowing.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's no way of us knowing that he's not in on the cult. I'm going to take a step outside.
You do that.
Yeah. Willow actually has to take a step outside. She is very frustrated.
Okay. She just head out into the lobby.
Yeah, after she says we don't know if he's in the cult too, she's just like, I'm going to step in the lobby and I'm going to take a breather.
That's why I feel like
She's losing her mind.
That's why I feel like it's fine that everybody knows. That's why I feel like if we throw the grenade, everybody knows, then if the information is out there, it becomes a lot harder to find out where that information came from. If everybody has it and everybody says that they got it from a different person,
I've also got some. I've got an ace up my sleeve. I'm gonna put down on the table tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That young Malkavian is being ruthlessly exploited.
Wait, we haven't left yet, have we?
No.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. I didn't
Just Willow
say.
left.
Yeah, Willow left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm gonna leave as well. I'm gonna say my good. I didn't say any of that stuff because I'm not gonna say that in front of her.
Okay.
Sure.
Them, but I am going to say my polite goodbyes, and I'm gonna step out.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Roman is also going to. He's just gonna, look over at Indra and just be like, I can tell you've been through a lot. Take care of yourself.
Too. It was good meeting you.
Likewise.
Cadence is actually going to stay behind for a minute or two while the others leave.
And if you ever do decide to give up on this Camarilla thing, let me know.
We'll keep a seat warm for you.
Sure.
And he steps out.
Once everyone has left, Cadence is going to turn to Indja. He's going to say, not going to say anything more about what we are or are not going to do about what this infection. We've tabled that. But listen, I used to be the new guy in the cam too. And I get that there's a lot of peer pressure bullshit. That's how I felt it was, but there's a lot of, I guess, push to like be the perfect example of loyalty and effectiveness, especially when you're the low guy on the totem pole. So I also know that conversations like this can be super useful in not being the low guy on the totem pole anymore. And I'm just gonna ask politely, or as politely as is fucking possible for me. It's obviously I'm cool with you letting Net Church know that we know something that could help with this, but the things we talked about tonight, please keep that close to you, because we're working hard on our end to figure out how to end this, and we can't do that if one of the higher ups on your end or on our end gets wind of what we're doing and tries to put a stop to it.
No, I understand. I never even heard of that cult thing until...
Yeah, I'm surprised Willow brought it up, because it's a thing that's like, we're not like 100% sure on all of the links yet. Yeah, it's...
And honestly, I don't really care about politics or that stuff. I just want to live as much as I can. I just want to survive.
Yeah, and while you may not be able to get information to us easily, if I hear something, I will be sure to find a way to get it to you. I'm good at doing things in ways that don't necessarily lead back to me.
But I am going to look more into what you told me about what you know of the contagion, because that...
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. And I'm sure, like... So, like I said, it was the source of it is a spirit, but a bad one. I also got a good one attached to me, so I don't know if that would help at all, if you could learn to detect that. But you know, I'm willing to take one for the team on that front.
Well, I will definitely expand my research into that.
Yeah. It's mostly stuff that werewolves do, so don't get too heavy into the first-hand sources on that. But
don't like dogs.
But
I am glad that you all came out, though.
yeah, no, it's good to see you doing okay.
Stay safe.
I mean, I'm making promises. That depends a lot on other people too, but I'll try my best.
Understood.
Okay, so out in the lobby, what's the conversation like out there?
Willow is fucking stewing. Like, she's probably gonna have to like leave the hotel, like not the hotel, like the movie theater, and spend some time in her car, because she is like this close to blowing her top. She's just like, man, sorry guys, I didn't mean to like, whatever. Did she say anything? Did they say anything after I left of value at all?
I'm gonna assume that Cadence is walking at.
Yeah,
It's for Alex and Roman.
No, they are being ruthlessly exploited by a prince who knows how to get into a Malkavian's head. And I have a strong feeling that once I make Netchurch aware of this,
We have no way of knowing he doesn't already know.
We do know that he doesn't know that I know. And I don't believe that he knows, because I believe if he knew, he would be furious. And if he does know and is biding his time, the fact that the Enochs now know about it is going to force his hand.
I'm afraid I'm missing something. How will that force his hand?
Because he's going to have to make a move before we let everybody know what's going on. Camarilla has this thing where they have to be beyond reproach at all times. So he can't very well have it that one of his Malkavians is being controlled in this specific way, and he's not doing anything about it.
Who's to say he's not being controlled on top of it?
Well, I guess we'll find out.
A scenario, it gets out. He told us. Doesn't matter if he did or not, but that's the word that'll get out.
Could be, and he can't have that either. So I don't think it's going to be enough for him to roll hard on the prince, but he's definitely, I mean, he's one of her primogen, isn't he? It's gonna make things uncomfortable for her.
Well, I mean, I'm sure all of her other primogen are in on it, so whatever.
Maybe
I think
not.
I think it's a super bad idea, but I guess we'll do it.
I can tell you
this.
this.
I'm out of it. I'll be honest. That I was who I had a list for.
Mm-hmm.
I was really banking on knowing who I'd eventually have to deal with.
Yeah.
And I don't. Fuck me.
Who?
You know?
I can tell you that the kind of control that is being used against her, Malkavians would, I believe, cross-sect boundaries to destroy Netchurch if they found out that he was authorizing someone not of our clan to do this.
Right. I guess.
Likewise. We need to do an inventory.
What?
We really want to find out who's where. I need to know how much ammo we have. Every favor that is owed. Every boon, every dime, every cent, every gun. I need to know what we have.
No, that's perfectly fair. We can talk about it when we get back to the house. I do have some stuff I probably need to say because this was a pretty big bust on my end. My bad. But I guess we're gonna be spending that big boon we earned at Victoria Ash's party, huh?
I suppose that we are.
I suppose I was really hoping on holding on to that a little bit longer, but it seems to me that I'm gonna have to spend this very important major boon now to get anywhere. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that depends. Who do you owe? Or who
I'm not going to say that in this fucking movie theater, Roman.
All right.
So yeah, Cadence, you make your way out of the theater, and you guys start heading back, making some plans. Indja, your movie ends, and you have a driver that will take you back to the lab. And you do have a pile of work waiting for you. But you can certainly arrange a brief conversation with Dr. Netchurch if you'd like.
Yes, I would definitely like to do that.
All right, yeah, you put it in on the internal calendar. A few moments later, you get invited to his office, and he is going over some files. And he says, "How was your movie, Indja?"
Very informative.
Good. We have some new samples in.
Excellent. While I was there, I actually ran into some old associates.
He puts his file down. He says, "Did you now?"
They had a bit more information on where this contagion came from. And were interested in speaking with somebody who might benefit more from that.
I see. What is it that they think they know?
The contagion is actually a spirit creature.
Shaky at best.
There is mention of werewolf magic to contain.
There may be a protoplasmic element to it, yes.
And one of them had been exposed to it and had it removed by this procedure.
I see. This is some very interesting conversations you've been having.
It's a very good movie. It attracts all kinds of theater lovers.
I see. Indeed. Well, I don't think it's much to worry about, Indja. I obviously haven't let you know everything about the project. It's smart to keep things segmented, given what we're dealing with. But it's also dangerous for you to know some information without the full context. The project is not natural. It is engineered. And it's fascinating what's being done.
And you believe it can be contained?
I do. This is... There are multiple vectors, multiple contagions that we're dealing with here. We've almost stamped one out. He says he goes to a filing cabinet and he brings out a thick file and he begins to put some photographs on the table. And they are mostly scenes of carnage and destructions, but there are some sort of live action shots. This is some records from when we retook the city from the Sabbat.
Ooh.
They are an unacceptable variable in a stable, safe existence. And Atlanta is one of the last bastions of them in this continent. The project is very risky. There are factors that need to be solved for to make sure that it can be properly contained. But they are a cancer on kindred society, and they have to be dealt with. The Anarchs are not much better. They're a threat to the Masquerade. They do not understand stability, order, and the extreme measures that the Masquerade needs. I understand. It's unfortunate that you learned of the broader extent of the project through unreliable sources. But I'm willing to answer any questions you might have.
Who else knows about the project?
This is very few. It is mainly the purview of the prince and those closest to her, myself included. We definitely need to make sure that the counteragent is effective and that the initial burn is as complete as possible of the undesirable elements. Indja, you've been very good to me. I value your contribution. And I want you to know that whatever measures are needed to be taken to ensure your safety will be taken. But we are in dire nights. I won't go so prosaic as to say that they are the final nights, as some mythology-obsessed fools like to say, but they are very dire nights, and we have to do very dire things in order to ensure the survival of our kind, so that knowledgeable, rational, insightful people can continue learning the things that we need to learn about our nature, about our condition, about the world. And the Sabbat, anarchs, they are counterproductive to that ends.
But this plan, this contagion, it's going in the food supply. It's going to be an impact on everyone, and even if we do manage to find a way to contain it, as you stated earlier, it has to be a rescheduled inoculations, and what if it mutates? What then? What if it changes and then those inoculations don't do anything and we're back to square one with so few and all the food completely off the table?
I'm not going to deny that there are risks. That's why our work is so very important.
I just feel like they can offer you some additional information, a new perspective to give us a better idea on how to handle this.
I can see that this is upsetting you, Indja. If you'd like me to meet with your associates and get some more, see if they might know more than I believe it is possible that they do, I would certainly be open to hearing what they have to say, if only to assure you and can see that your work continues for the betterment of our clan, of our species.
I would very much appreciate that, Doctor.
We only have a few hours before dawn, Indja, and I do need those samples processed.
Yes, sir. I'll get right on that.
Good. Thank you. So yeah, you guys are driving back downtown.
Yeah. Willow is driving everybody back downtown. She is very unhappy. The music in the cab is uncomfortably loud ocean sounds. To sort of keep her from fucking frenzying in this goddamn car. So everyone just has to deal with very loud ocean until we get back to the haven.
I'm actually gonna very quietly start pushing some cool trance music through my phone as well, just to go, it's okay, we're good, it's fine, this is all fine.
It's really not fine. It's super not fine. It's extraordinarily unfine that the two most charismatic people that we had here could not get any blood from that goddamn rock.
Well, if it helps, there might not have been much there to start. They're probably not going to know much, given that they're new and they're young. And
the sheriff used her to know that we were coming here the very first day that we were coming.
Mm-hmm.
When Indra was taken, his ability to do his job plummeted. And we saw where that ended up, right? The insight meant something. But maybe she's had a brain job, or maybe they've had a brain job. I don't know. But you guys couldn't get anything out of her, and God knows I can't get anything out of her.
I wouldn't say that we didn't get anything out of her. We might not have gotten exactly what we were looking for, but we planted a seed, and let's give it time to germinate.
And we might
Probably not the best metaphor with all of this going on, but
with the amount of time that we have going on, excellent. No, it's
we've got possibly another meeting with NetChurch, who will probably be a better source of information.
I cannot. She just
it'll be a good chance to figure out if he is part of the cult. Okay.
I think at this point we should assume that every member of the Camarilla over a certain age is probably a member of this cult.
Right.
Keep driving.
But yeah, no.
Yeah,
also,
excellent. Fantastic.
Before we do another one of these things, we really need to just hash out what we're going to say beforehand.
Yeah.
I knew what I was going to try to say to them.
Well, no, just so we're all on the same page and we don't end up saying things that the others don't want us to say. Not that you said anything we didn't want you to say, but it would be nice to have a game plan next time, like an actual game plan.
Well,
so
did
when we
kind
go
of
to
come
Dr.
up out
Ness-
of nowhere.
Yeah, so when we go to Dr. Ness Church, we can just tell him everything.
Not telling everything.
I get the feeling that that's what's going to happen.
No.
I mean, if you don't want me to spill beans, then tell me before we go in which beans I'm not supposed to spill, because I'm not very good. I don't know if you caught this.
There are other people on the Prince's Inner Council that are suspected to be a part of this cult. There's no reason to suspect that he isn't. There's no reason.
I don't suspect that he isn't. I suspect that he probably is.
We just don't.
But my concern with the way that this Malkavian is being controlled has nothing to do with whether or not NetChurch is a villain. It's my faith in my own blood that he cannot possibly be that much of a villain.
What?
He's a Persian! What the fuck does that mean?
All right.
We're pulling in.
Yeah.
Opening the gate.
All right.
At the very least, I'm 90% certain that Indja is not going to spill any of the fucking beans that we spilled, okay? That's what I was talking about when I hung back.
Yeah, we don't need to bring up the cult word around NetChurch. We just keep it strictly professional. We just talk about the situation at hand.
And we milk him for information without actually giving any of our own.
Because worst case scenario, he knows everything we already know. And
maybe I can yoink his notes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean? I'm gonna start crying.
Grab his paperwork so we can look at it.
I'm not
super secure office. Do you remember the office? Do you remember all the security in there? I remember all the security the first time we went there.
I'm not so confident that we'll be meeting him in his office if we get the chance.
If I were him, I definitely would not let us meet him in his office. That would be madness.
But it's something. It's an avenue, and just because things aren't happening the way some of us fucking want them to happen doesn't mean we can't salvage it. All right?
Oh no, we're gonna salvage it.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna salvage it because I'm very interested in using that favor from Mika fucking Vikos.
This could have all been fucking solved if I hadn't fucking given up
just dropped that
NetChurch in the first place.
Mm-hmm. I don't give a fuck.
I see that.
Mika, if someone is going to be able to get me what I want, it's a major fucking boon.
If somebody's going to be able to turn you into a chair, it's definitely that particular individual.
Fantastic. I'm going to die in June.
Oh, it's one of those. All right. So, I don't think it's a bad idea.
It's not.
How
have more resources than fucking anybody I could think of.
Mm-hmm.
I have a major boon on.
So we we're doing them a favor by cluing them in on the situation to begin with. I'm sure if properly explained, they'll understand. They'll understand the benefit of looking into this.
It's a major boon if he does. If they do, if they don't, it doesn't matter. I just want the fucking names.
And you don't want to hold on to that boon for too long, quite frankly.
Yeah. I mean, we've had it for a little bit, and I sort of worry.
Yeah.
God damn it.
All right. Well, that seems like a very frustrating part to leave off the game.
Yeah.
So, I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank everyone for playing. Definitely want to thank Ray for playing Indja again. It's a fascinating, frustrating character that is.
Web.
Yeah. But yeah, so does anyone have anything they'd like to plug before we sign off?
Nothing specific at the moment, but as always, I do want to throw a quick little ad over to twitch.tv/surprise round RPG, all one word. I GM over there regularly, and I've got some fun stuff coming up over there.
Cool. Yeah, and there's definitely going to be a link to that in the show notes.
Cool, thank you.
Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I got a little update for the Midnight World. If everything goes according to plan, and I'm hopefully going to make an announcement on the main webpage about this tomorrow, we're setting up our own Twitch stream, and we're going to be inviting people to come play the Midnight World with us. Probably only once a month, maybe twice a month. We'll see. But we hope to be doing that pretty soon, so that people can get their hands on the game and see what it's all about.
Awesome. Anything else from anybody?
No. That was very boring.
Aw. Well, Ray, I know you're on a new podcast, so you might, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I still feel like I'm just guest hosting, but it's Geek Grills. So it's girls' perspective on gaming and other nerdy topics, and we just get together. We do a live Twitch on Mondays, and then we repost the podcasts on our website. So we're at geekgrills.com/Twitch, and also geekgrills.com, I believe.
Cool, and that there'll definitely be links to that. All right, McKenna, anything from you?
I mean, commissions are always still appreciated. Find me on Facebook as MCK Does Art. Aside from that, I have nothing new.
Cool. All right. Well, I want everyone to, like I said, thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks for y'all for playing. I definitely want to thank my $5 patrons, including Mr. James Davey, Mrs. Mo Ferrer, yeah, I know, Mr. Michael Tyson, Mr. David Haddad, Ms. Abby Peterson, and Mr. Eric Ramos. You all keep that trickle of good money coming in. But yeah, so I think we're about to round it off. Who wants to lead us this time?
You know what? I have not done it yet.
All right, well then it's your turn, I suppose.
All right.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Fuck Nazis! All right, see everybody.
Bye.